The most influential decades in educational technology were the 1950s, the 1980s, and the 2000s. The end of the World War in 1945 brought about major changes in education. Training needed to prepare soldiers in the late 1930s and early 1940s was provided through video instruction. The concept of video and visual instruction soon found its way into the school system. Visual instruction in schools became more commonplace as film strips and movies were used in conjunction with classroom lecture. B.F. Skinner, the scientist credited for the behaviorist theories of the 1950s, developed program instruction models where individuals who provided a favorable response were given immediate feedback and rewarded. These program instruction models prove that the human brain can be conditioned to learn from a program. In a sense, it was that concept that leads to the study of the human mind and the birth of cognitive science. Scientists like Atkinson and Shiffrin developed memory models based on the function of the human brain. Meanwhile, the invention of the first video recorder in 1951 and the computer hard drive and modem in the middle and late 1950s yielded breakthroughs in education, and computers were being developed to imitate the information storing system of the human mind. People began to realize that computers can take on the task of storing facts. We no longer need to spend time memorizing random bits of information. We could be using our mind to solve more complex problems. The increasing development of computers in the 1950s led way for a major breakthrough in the 1980s, the invention of the personal computer. These small, affordable machines were brought into the homes of millions, and since that time, the magnitude and the effect of the personal computer on education has been tremendous. The personal computer had an impact on every aspect of human life, from the workforce to the structure of family. Computer programs and software in the workforce allowed for more efficiency on the job, and companies became more results driven. Likewise, schools and other institutions began implementing the use of computers in the classroom. Software programs were developed to track the success of students, and teachers were encouraged to use this new form of technology in the classroom. During this time, video games were also being used as instructional tools, and many computer software companies developed educational games that could be played on the computer and provide children with immediate feedback. Computer programs and video games that provided immediate feedback also suggested that computers could be used to individualize instruction. Cell phones were also a major breakthrough happening during the 1980s. Invented in 1979, cell phones began to provide a way for people to communicate with each other and not be tied to landlines. People were able to travel and hold conversations despite their location. The field of education was forever changed as people scrambled to determine how computers can be used to increase the learning potentials for students, and yet there was an even bigger discovery to be made. The 1980s end with what could be considered the most impactful development of all time, the World Wide Web, developed in 1990. The internet turned the computer into a mega library and has provided a way for individuals to communicate and share information across the globe. In the 2000s, communication through the internet and computers skyrocketed when MySpace, invented in 2003, allowed people to see that they could share their lives with other individuals. Later, Facebook and Twitter allowed individuals to keep in constant contact with friends regardless of their location. YouTube, also invented in the mid 2000s, allowed for people to upload videos and share instruction online. Cell phones were no longer isolated to the job of conversation, but housed multiple abilities, including the ability to act as a camera, video recorder, computer, and data sharing device. Instantly, people could take pictures or videos and send information to one another in less than a second. The multiple avenues of communication sparked a major increase in the enrollment of students in online courses, virtual learning, webinars, online instruction, conferences. Development of all online schools and universities are becoming more and more mainstream as individuals choose to learn from the comfort of their own homes. The three most impactful decades in educational technology begins with the 1950s and the implementation of video and film strips as instructional tools. B.F. Skinner and his behaviors theory also had a major impact on the field of education, with his program instruction models that proved the human mind can be conditioned. The personal computer of the 1980s, as well as the internet, played a major role in society and education. The cell phone had tremendous communication power. Computers brought a plethora of information into homes, minimized the importance of rote memorization of facts. In the 2000s, the computer took on an additional role of keeping us connected to the rest of the world through social websites and media. This also impacted the environment in which we learn and how we receive information. More and more individuals are choosing to learn in their own homes. From the beginning of time, discoveries outside of the school building have continued to have a major impact on what goes on inside of many schools. With developments in the mediums used to communicate and share knowledge comes a change that will in turn affect how knowledge is being delivered to our students. Many of the discoveries are so new that we are unsure of the implications and effect of these technologies in the classroom setting. However, the field of education continues to embed more technology into the classrooms. The rapid changes in our technology leave little time for intensive study on whether educational technology is helpful or harmful, and it does not appear that we're going to slow down anytime soon. The next decades in education may be exciting for some and scary for others. All we can do now is see and look and wait for what the future holds.